know we can call this an update, but I just want to probably open it up if you all have any questions as far as from anything that was not asked this morning. I don't have any updates to give you as far as investigation. I know we talked about getting numbers for search and rescue and fire personnel, as well as law enforcement personnel and civilian volunteers, and I can give that to you if you're ready for that. For the fire and rescue, search and rescue personnel, right now there's about 100 personnel, and not all are out in the field right now, but and in addition to that, there's 9 on horseback. There has been about 250 volunteers that have come in, and I've since the short time I've been standing here, they've had more come in and sign up to help out, and they've been working at different times. And there's been about 15 different agencies as far as on the fire side of it, the rescue, the fire, the first responders. When you look at the law enforcement numbers right now, we had about 82 officers, and that's combined yesterday and today. We've got about 40 currently working, and we'll have a new shift that will come in tonight. We're consistently reevaluating what equipment that we need and personnel that we need.
As far as the current situation with the suspect, is questioning ongoing throughout the day?
Yes.
And he hasn't said anything new since this morning?
Well, again, like we talked about in the morning session, I'm not going to discuss specifics of the case and any statements that have or may be made or anything regarding questioning it is something I can't go into.
Can you tell us why it was an advisory and not an Amber Alert initially?
And that's a good question. And she asked was what the difference between why it was not an Amber Alert versus why it was an advisory versus an Amber Alert, and it has to do with the vehicle. There was no identifiable mode of transportation, especially after the vehicle that was initially identified during the first part of the investigation. Once that vehicle was located, then we had nothing else, no other information that pointed to a separate or another vehicle. And so that's why an Amber Alert was not issued.
Were you able to confirm that Adrianna got into the vehicle?
No, it's still confirming that.
So are you saying that you ruled out that the vehicle initially mentioned has been ruled out as being involved in this case?
No, I don't. I'm not ruling that out at all. I'm just saying, in reference to the Amber Alert, it has to be some sort of mode of transportation, a vehicle, and the only vehicle that was identified at the time during the initial part of the investigation was located shortly after the initial report.
Has anything been found in the search? More footprints, any clothes, anything?
You know, they're going as the searchers call in with different possible leads or maybe some possible information that they see during their search. Then law enforcement is going out, so we're consistently going back and forth and looking and evaluating.
Do you know how much acreage has been covered and how much more will be covered?
You know, I can sure try and check and see. You know, just by looking at the maps and what areas we covered, I can't tell you right now, but we can try to process that and give you an answer.
Can you confirm any relationship between the suspect and the missing girl's father, be it professional or otherwise?
I don't know what type of relationship there is there. I know that there was a knowledge between the two. There was, and I hate to say relationship. From what I understand, that they knew each other.
Is the search still within the Golden City city limits, or where are you searching?
We have expanded at different times. The leads have taken us outside this area, and so again, it's not just confined here. You know, physically we're looking here, but as far as the investigative side of it, it has progressed out past Golden City.
This morning you mentioned that you shied away from calling him a suspect and said he was more of a person of interest. Is he now officially a suspect?
Well, like I said, I don't know. You know, as far as putting a label on on a person that's being interviewed or being questioned. I don't know that I feel comfortable in identifying that person with a label as far as progression of how the case is going.
When is the 24 hours up where he needs to be charged or released? Is that 6:30?
It's going to be somewhere in that 6:30 to 7 time.
Has there been has there been a water search? Has there been a search in anybody's
I know
water?
they've been in and around water. I know they did some this morning, and I know they've done some this afternoon, especially along at least one of the creeks in the area.
Where a person expressed interest in help with county jail at this time in the matter?
I couldn't hear you, but let's let the media hear real quick.
I'm with media also.
Okay.
Is there a person of interest being held in Dade County Missouri as possible person of interest?
No, not that I know.
Give some sort of overview about what happens from here out.
Well, and again, I think we're constantly evaluating as far as the manpower needs, both on the law enforcement and the search side of it, and looking at see how many people we need, what type of any other specialized equipment. You know, we're going to come into the second night now, so you know, is there any other specialized equipment that we need here on site? You know, at some point in time, and I'm not for sure, you can't put a time frame on it, but there's going to be, if it goes longer, then you're going to have to start looking at, we've talked about asking for maybe some more volunteers as other volunteers are not able to make maybe a longer commitment.
So will the search continue indefinitely? Or
Well, I
is
don't
there
know.
a limit?
That's not my decision to make. So it's, you know, obviously our number one priority is finding her, and I don't know that I feel comfortable in putting a timetable on it and saying, you know, hey, we're going to do it for this long. I don't feel comfortable doing that, and right now I don't think it's fair. We need to look at it.
Can you say at this point that she's been kidnapped? I mean, is that
Yeah.
a word you use for it?
Right, and I don't know, and we talked about that this morning. I don't know that I feel comfortable in saying that. We want to make sure that there is something substantial as far as identifying that yes, she did get in that vehicle.
Have all of her relatives been accounted for? I mean, do you know where they are? I mean, is there a possibility that she's with a relative somewhere?
I know relatives have been contacted. I know that was something that was discussed last night. I can check to see whether or not relatives. Are you talking about maybe somebody outside the area?
Is there a possibility that she went with somebody?
And I know the contacting family was a priority last night, in locating them, getting the message to them, and seeing whether or not there was whether or not they had any contact with her last night.